What's up everybody? Patrick from wpbuilderhelper, and in today's video we're going to talk about WordPress 5.5 because everybody's interested in what's happening with it, but they're not exactly telling you the whole story that you should be looking at. Not only from a person who builds websites, but from what's just going on in general with it. I mean, there's some things that are happening with WordPress 5.5 that I don't necessarily like, and I'm not sure you're going to like them either. So stick with me. I'm going to go through it all. I'm going to do a walkthrough of what I think is kind of a little bit scary and what I think you should be watching out for in the future, because I think it definitely has some things that are going to be following the path of what WordPress is doing. Not necessarily saying to jump off the ship, so don't be looking for that, because that's not what this video is. But needless to say, as the title has said, shots have been fired. Alright, so let's get started. Alright everybody, so here we are. We're in basically, I'm going to be explaining why shots fired was the title for this headline. And what you're going to find is in the brand new WordPress 5.5 beta, you're going to find that the block editor has been improved. And as a matter of fact, that's what we were just in. So if we take a look at the block editor and we go in here, we can see that they have much improved the block editor. They have this little piece up here that you can go to. They've kind of changed everything up, basically, is what's going on. But the block editor essentially has been changed. It's kind of been formatted or whatever to be easier, more like a page builder, essentially. And they're kind of doing the same thing where you can kind of shrink things and grow things and do whatever you want to do. It just gives you that flexibility, and that's what they've changed. A lot of what's going on in WordPress 5.5 is them basically making the block editor better. And if you're not aware, that's where the shots fired is coming from. This is targeted strictly at page builders. Page builders, if they are not careful, are going to be getting fought hard with themes that are building Gutenberg functionality in. You've now got in this WordPress beta the ability to do block patterns, which are basically like similar to patterns that you would find in page builders, where if you have certain patterns like, 3 buttons, 2 buttons, 2 columns, an image in a column, it's basically the same thing as page builders. So basically all WordPress is doing right now is they are literally stealing every idea that page builders have. And if that is not bad enough, they are also going after the fact that they are now making it to where this Gutenberg is going to eventually have headers and footers. It's coming. They've been testing full theme functionality. It is coming. So if you're a theme that thinks you're going to stand out because you can make headers and footers and then you make the rest of it look very nice because you're adding Gutenberg in, I've got some bad news for you. WordPress is coming after you too. If you don't stand out in some way, shape, or form, you're going to be eliminated. And this is what I'm saying by raising the bar when I make these kind of statements. WordPress literally has the ability now to go in and you can set buttons, you can set all kinds of things. They've got so many different options in here that you can set border radiuses, and you can even make your button, if I believe you can do a gradient button now. So they've got some gradient buttons that you can pick. I mean, WordPress isn't stupid. And as a matter of fact, just looking at this is crazy. So WordPress has got a multi-gradient button. There are some page builders out there that don't have this yet. WordPress has it. Oxygen has it. A couple of other ones have it. This kind of thing where they're increasing the functionality and giving people more choices, better stuff. It's great for somebody who is just brand new or doesn't know anything and is trying to get in there. I get it. This is not a bad thing. You're allowing somebody, you're competing with Wix, essentially. That's what WordPress is doing with this update. So I'm not going to go over all the blocks. I'm not going to go over all that. I'm not going to even go over all this because they've already had people, go over this. So once again, where does my shots fired come from? Well, there's two things. First of all, it was the first part was definitely the blocks pattern and stuff like that, with the fact that they're basically copying page builders, which in this case, they're copying Elementor. I don't think Elementor has the market on this. It probably started with Visual Composer, if I'm being correct. But I don't even know if Visual Composer started with this. I think Elementor was the one that made the left hand more, I don't know, prominent. I could be wrong. There could be another builder that's out there that was maybe Beaver Builder, or someone before that was even, the first to pull this type of thing off. All I know is this is very Page Builder-esque. So, they're definitely kind of testing the waters and seeing what things look like in page builders, and then they're saying, hey, can we copy those and can we put those in Gutenberg? And that's what's happening. Gutenberg is evolving very, very fast, and I think the thing that scares me is that Gutenberg doesn't have a team of 4, it doesn't have a team of 5, it doesn't have a team of 12. Gutenberg's literally got all of the people who contribute to it because it's like an open source project. And so whoever contributes to it adds functionality to it, which means they're going to be able to rapidly develop anything much, much faster than you would get with a page builder normal function, because a page builder is a company. WordPress is a company also, but the difference is that they have the public to back them, whereas page builders are typically run by little small teams. So that's kind of where I get it. Some people may say, you know what, you're being a drama queen or whatever. I don't care. It's my thing. That's the way I feel. I feel like it's coming. This is what the start is. This is WordPress as a nutshell. It's going to start looking at these things and start figuring out what can we copy from page builders. Wow, that's terrible. What can we make better? What can we improve on? What can we do? And that's what this is. Here's the thing that really, really gets my goat, though. This is what really, really, really offended me, okay? This right here. This. Sitemaps. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why this bothers me. They added auto updates. So if you go into your plugins, so let's update this. Let's go into WordPress. If you go into your plugins, you now have the ability to auto update. Okay. This in itself is okay for me. I don't hate it. I don't like it. It's there. It allows you to update your stuff. There's some reasons why that's bad. There's some reasons why that's good. There are certain clients that refuse to update themes and plugins. Okay? The problem is, certain of these clients, you really should be testing updates to make sure that they don't break your site. You shouldn't be updating constantly because sometimes things break your site when it's brand new. So you got to be careful of that. I wish that WordPress, I really wish that as part of the health tools that they have in here, if I'm being real honest, WordPress is a repository, takes and finds bad plugins that are out there. If there's a plugin that has a problem, WordPress seeks it out and it takes it out of its marketplace, essentially, their plugins marketplace, which is over here. It takes it out. Like if this plugin was bad, if it had something malicious in it, WordPress would take it out. I wish that the site health status check would go in, look at your plugins, and tell you, yes, this plugin's corrupt. Don't update it. I wish it could throw a warning, give you a little triangle, give you something to let you know, hey, don't update this. We've got reports from users, it's bad. That would be cool. That would be useful. This enable auto updates, it's going to break more sites than it fixes. I can see this coming. It is going to break more sites than it fixes. It's going to help some users that never update. But at the same time, you cannot be someone who updates all the time, because sometimes you have to watch how you update. You can't just go and update everything and not check out if anyone's had problems with it or anything like that. You have to be very cautious. This is the whole reason why there's staging sites, so that you can do a backup of your site and then stage it, test all the updates, and make sure everything works. Because if you have a website that is small or whatever, you might not care if you lose customers for 30 minutes. But if your website's Walmart and you auto-update something and it breaks your website, you might care if you're losing millions of customers every 30 minutes. And so that's the type of thing that you need to look at. And that's where I think WordPress is being problematic with this. This can be dangerous. I wish that they would give you more details, and I hope that they listen, and I really do. But needless to say, with all the updates, that's once again still not the thing that's making me. They also added lazy loading, which I think was needed. I'd like to see lazy loading for videos too. I think if you're going to do images, do videos. This is what really killed me. This right here. So let me tell you why it killed me. I don't know the extent of this, and I know that this was also developed with Yoast and a couple of other developers that are out there to help with WordPress. They basically decided, hey, we want to have sitemaps. Okay, that's cool. I mean, Google uses them. It's a cool thing to add to it. To add to the core, add to the fact that you add a sitemap. That's cool. It's neat. I like it. It's cool. The problem with it is, why are you focusing on sitemaps? There's already a ton of plugins. They already do this well. Why are you focusing on that? Why, out of all the things in the world, is this what you're going to focus on? And then, to throw more dirt in the wound, so to speak, they decide to basically tell everybody that you're going to need to fall in line with our sitemaps, which was from what I read. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if you can turn it off, because from what I can see in the tools, there's no settings. There's nowhere in here that says that you can turn it off. Now, maybe you can customize it using PHP and everything else, but I can't find anything saying, no, I don't want to use your sitemap. I would much rather use my other sitemap that I have installed. Why can't I use my other sitemap? Why is it not allowing me to do that? And I don't know. That's just something that WordPress does. That's something that they're doing. So, not exactly sure. Not sure what the deal is. Don't know why it does that. Don't know what the issue is. I just know it's there. So, that's where part of my problem falls with this. It's really bothering me. I think WordPress has a lot of problems. And one of those problems being the fact that WordPress's #1 issue is its security. You're not even focusing on security. And to me, I feel like they're picking on SEO plugins because they want to take and go after this. Well, obviously, they've gone after SEO plugins. They've gone after page builders. I mean, they're going after things. That's not to say that page builders won't work. There's some people who are always going to hate Gutenberg, so they'll always prefer a page builder over Gutenberg. But you can't deny the fact that they're building it out in such a way where it makes it easier for people to never buy a page builder again. That is going to cut into the fact that there are people out there who are just going to use Gutenberg. And they'll probably use it, and they'll probably be fine with it. And their websites will probably, as Gutenberg continues to progress, they'll probably even start looking better and doing more things that page builders can do. So it's not like it's a bad thing. But with that said, I'm still mad that this has happened. I mean, WordPress, fix your freaking security first. If you want to target something, target security. It's one of the biggest problems with WordPress I've ever heard. And I know that you can argue that technically the plugins and them auto-updating is part of security. Screw that. Add in two-factor authentication. Give people the ability to take and secure their website with firewalls and things like that. Give them some built-in features, because that's really what's missing with WordPress. That is where WordPress falls short in every single fight with every other page builder. Not page builder, but every other service that's out there. When you're comparing it to Wix, when you're comparing it to Squarespace, those sites are less hacked than WordPress. And you could say, oh, well, WordPress is more popular, so of course it gets hacked. It's also due to the fact that there's a lot of plugins that don't get updated and stuff like that. It's due to the fact that WordPress's security is just crap and it needs to be improved. Why are you focusing on XML sitemaps when your freaking security needs improvement? It does. I'm sorry. WordPress security needs to be built in. You're adding sitemaps to the core when what we need is two-factor authentication. We need stuff built into the core like that we can turn off and on as we need to. Why can't that be added to the core? That's my question. You may disagree with me. You may not disagree with me. You may be saying, you know what, you're right on the money. Everybody's got a different opinion. And to me, it's just one of those things where WordPress really needs to adjust this, because that's where they're losing out. They're losing out where you don't have the ability to take and go in and just adjust these things. And there's certain things that you definitely need. This site health thing, that's cool. That's neat. It tells you should remove inactive themes. It tells you should do this. You don't use HTTPS. It tells you all that. But it doesn't tell you, hey, let's add a firewall. Hey, let's do this. Let's add two-factor authentication to make your WordPress site just a little bit harder to crack. Let's add brute force to WordPress automatically. No plugin needed. Why don't you focus on those things? Stop attacking the plugin builders. Stop attacking page builders and SEO programs, and start focusing on the things that matter. And that's what I wish. That's why I said shots fired. So it wasn't to draw you in. It was to show you that WordPress has got some problems, and they definitely need to fix it. If you agree with me, go ahead and hit that like button down below, and definitely subscribe if you're a new subscriber. And if you don't agree with me, go ahead and put your comments down below. I'd love to hear why you think maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I am wrong. I mean, I'm definitely not the person who's in charge of all of this and doing all this. This is just my personal feelings from using WordPress over a long period of time. I know a lot of people's sites that get hacked, and they get hacked from things like, bad plugins and things like that, not even using security plugins. Some people say you don't need them. I've never believed that. But once again, hopefully you've liked this and you've enjoyed this, and I will see you guys next time.